Hey guys, it's Matt here, and today I'm bringing you another episode of Matt Rants. And you can tell that it's important, right? This is a very important episode of Matt Rants because my face is in it. It's not gameplay footage, it's actually me. If you guys like this setup, then please tell me in the comment section below. Might do some more Matt Rants like this in the future. Although, they would have to be a bit shorter because I can't encode, 40-minute long videos with my face. That would take way too long encoding-wise. It's really bad. My computer is actually very bad, which is the theme of this direct. You might have thought it was Super Smash Brothers, but it was actually how bad my laptop is. And so let me explain that to you briefly, because if you guys actually saw my Matt Rants, the Spyro Reignited Trilogy Matt Rants, then you knew that I was going to do this Smash Direct live. I was actually going to do a pre-show, an actual reaction while it was going on, and a post-show. What? That's insane! But remember our slogan here at Those Guys Play: everything can go wrong. So it went wrong. Yeah. I have to get a better streaming setup because I can't even just stream footage of my face without a warning, high encoding error. So that's lovely. I'm staring at it right now angrily because it knows what it did, and also because it has my notes on it as well. So anyway, before we even talk about the direct itself, let's briefly talk about kind of what became, or rather what came before this direct. So I actually thought that this direct was going to end up being much different. Even though it said Smash in the title, I was wondering if they're going to throw some other non-Smash things into the mix. And the reason why is because we've actually heard a lot of rumors recently, and yes, just rumors, but we've heard rumors of stockholders and investors not being too happy about Nintendo kind of going all in with just, and they've had other news as well and other releases as well, don't get me wrong, especially this last year, but in terms of this quarter, it seems like investors were thinking, hey, aren't we going to get more games than just Smash? And, and granted, there were some other, I did some Matt Rants, there probably are some other reasons why investors may have been upset as well, but when it comes to the idea that, oh, Nintendo's not releasing that many newer games, I think that people may have, including some of these investors and stockholders, may have underestimated how big Smash is and how much money Smash can draw in, especially with some of its DLC, which they confirmed that there will be DLC. In case anyone didn't know, they confirmed that in this direct. But anyway, so instead of going into a different direction, instead of showing off all these other games, it seems like Nintendo was actually going with what they've wanted to all along. Just go into this direct, talk about Smash, and then I assume if there's going to be one in October, heck, I mean, with how small this one is, they can do one next month if they really want to speed things up, and they can actually just talk about any new game releases or upcoming games there. But let's actually talk about the direct itself now. Let's put on my glasses so I can read these notes, and let's talk about some new characters that appeared. Yes, new characters. So we got Simon Belmont, we got Richter, we got, what's funny, I put under characters Dracula's Castle. It's a new stage, but still, Dracula's Castle. I mean, with all the freaking, the environmental, with everything going on in the environment trying to attack you, it does feel like it's its own freaking character. And we also got King K. Rool. Oh, that was hilarious, the way he was introduced. That was amazing. I didn't know what I was expecting. I feel like I was expecting a different costume for Wario or something like that, or something WarioWare Gold related, actually, because the game just dropped. I thought we were going to get some more WarioWare, or just general Wario goodness, but we did not, which is fine, but like I thought we were going to get a little bit more of that. Either way, though, the addition of Simon Belmont was a good one, and something that I saw a lot of people commenting on online, so it isn't something that was a brand new idea, but it's still something that I really do think that people enjoyed, right? Like, that's the thing, too. I think a lot of people online, they want to go, oh, well, that was guessed, so whatever, and it's kind of like, no, guys, but it's something you guessed because you wanted it. Or at least someone guessed because they wanted it. So that's a good thing that you got what you wanted. So we got Simon Belmont, we got Richter. Now, I don't know too much about Richter, but I do know a fair amount about Simon Belmont. And I say fair amount, just un poquito, very little. But still, I know just enough from playing a little bit of Castlevania. And also, seeing the Castlevania anime didn't really help with Belmont. But still, the point, though, is that he's got an interesting, not necessarily a little bit of a redesign, it's a little bit, maybe some more polygons, some more pixels in there. But still, either way, when it comes to his whip, it's something that I do wonder how people, so I'm not someone who actually plays in Smash tournaments, or really is all that. I don't know much about tournaments, right? I really don't. But I do wonder if the Belmont situation, if it's going to be a situation, right? I do wonder if, because at first when they said, oh, the whip is a little slow, I'm like, okay, good, it's slow, that, you know, balances a whip out. But then all of a sudden they said, but it has the longest reach in the game. So I do wonder if, or they said it potentially does. Sakurai said that. So I do wonder if that might piss off some people. That might make him seem like he's OP. I'm sure some people in the comments will say he's going to be the next Bayonetta. So I do wonder what that means for competitive Smash. And now moving on to other new characters as well, or technically new Echo Fighters. In this case, we have Richter, who, yes, in this case, he is an Echo Fighter. Echo Fighter for, of course, Simon Belmont. We also have Chrom as well, who I know nothing of Chrom, but I would safely assume, due to his anime BOI boy appearance, he's probably from Fire Emblem. And, of course, Dark Samus as well. And Dark Samus, I wonder what Dark Samus is from. Either way, when it comes to these Echo Fighters, it's a nice addition. For me, it's not really going to matter. Even if I do get a Switch before this, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate comes out, and I can actually play Ultimate on the Switch, still, these Echo Fighters probably won't mean much to me, but they might to you, and I think they are great. I'm going to say addition, even though I'm sure some people are going to correct me and say that they were in the Wii U edition as well. But still, I think Echo Fighters are a lot of fun. So, but we should also move on to something. I mentioned Dracula's Castle before, because stages are actually getting very interesting additions, and in some cases, I would argue, overhauls. So the first thing I want to mention is that not only do they, well, first off, let's talk about the new stages, not just Dracula's Castle, but we got New Donk City Hall. So that's really cool. So even though I don't know much about Super Mario Odyssey because I don't have a Switch, like I just mentioned, and I've mentioned before on this channel, still, it is amazing that they're actually bringing in New Donk City Hall. It looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. I love that we have Paulina singing as well. So all of a sudden, we're going to have the stage move along with her singing, and apparently I think you can move by her and some of the other musicians using their instruments, and I assume it's going to affect the gameplay somehow. I mean, it looked like they were charging you up or something, or giving you items, but they didn't really, they were just reacting. They didn't actually show any items dropping or anything like that. Either way, that was actually really fun. Something that I found very interesting and that I really enjoyed is that you can actually turn off hazards. Now, I don't know about you guys. I'm sure some of you guys out there might be, bemoaning like, oh no, but I like the hazards. Well, then good, you can also keep them on as well. But me personally, looking at some of the hazards, especially in Dracula's Castle, at that point, I feel like I'm just fighting the freaking castle instead of fighting somebody else, right? Like if I have 3 of my friends over, right? 3 members of those guys play over. We're all playing Smash on the Switch. It's going to seem like so much. And I know some people will say, "Oh, so much work." Is that real? We're going to say, really? But it's the fact that I just want to fight them, right? I want to kick their ass. I don't have to beat them up and then also have to beat up mummies and Frankenstein and werewolves and Dracula. Granted, I would love to beat those guys up in Castlevania, or if I'm just, going up against one other person. So if it's me and Tristan Walter, fellow friend who comes on the show, does Let's Plays and does other both gaming and podcast content with us, yeah, of course, I'll be like, okay, Tristan, actually, let's team up, right? We can feel like at that moment we're actually teaming up against Dracula. That's cool. But at the same time, I feel as if I'm completely 100% okay with turning those off and just, having a blast without any of that getting in the way. Something else that you can change that's very interesting is that stages can actually morph into other stages. Now, again, you can also turn this off, but turning this on, again, I just imagine myself with a few buddies, having some drinks. We're all over 21, so, we're having some drinks, and we're just sitting there having a good time, and then all of a sudden, boom, morphs into another stage, and it's like, whoa, right? So to me, I feel as if that would be a heck of a lot of fun, really cool, and a great way to kind of change up gameplay. It might not work in a competitive setting, it might not work in a tournament setting, but I do think that with this game, they're not only trying to make things tournament friendly, but they're also trying to make things friendly for the home, I'll say the home viewer, but in this case, the game player who is just playing their game at home, playing it with friends and family, right? I feel as if they've done a great job, at least with this Direct, showing off how you can have fun with this game with your friends. and not necessarily have to do it exclusively in a tournament environment. But speaking of tournaments, they also added a tournament mode, which is also very interesting as well. So I'm sure we would definitely use that here if we're filming some videos, having a fun little tournament between all of us. So that's actually really cool as well. So I do want to mention that the tournament mode that they added in, that's really fun. They've also added in some other modes as well, and also changed training mode, which is interesting. So I'll get to that in a moment. But before I get to the modes, I want to mention the music. So two interesting things. One that I don't think might be utilized as much as Nintendo thinks, but you know what? Honestly, Nintendo has been... People have actually been using the Switch and pretty much love the Switch in handheld mode. I think I would argue more than they do as a console. So here's the interesting thing right here. So music, not only can you use any song in any stage as long as it's stages from the same game. So what that means is if you're using songs from Legend of Zelda that they've added into the game, you can use those in any Legend of Zelda stage. You don't just have to have one song attached to one stage or something like that. So that's pretty cool. I believe they mentioned that was in the Wii U version as well, so I'm happy that they're bringing that back over. But here's the thing that changes the game up entirely, in my opinion. It's funny because it's something that happens offline or off game. It's the fact that the music, you can actually play the music in handheld mode on your Switch. So of course some of you guys are like, but I'm holding it. But in the case of, they showed this woman in the trailer or in the general direct, and she took the Switch, she put it in her tote bag, granted without a case, which is just like, lady, your Switch is going to get extremely scratched. You have a bunch of stuff in that tote bag, I'm sure. You should probably get a case for that Switch. But that's, we'll take that, we'll put that aside. Put that thought aside off camera. So, the interesting thing, at least to me anyway, is the fact that she took the Switch, and apparently you can listen to the music even when the Switch's screen is off in handheld mode. So really, Nintendo's like, hey, I know that MP3 players have been a thing for a while, but you can MP3 too. And it was like, wow, you know what? Actually, that's a very interesting thing. I just hit my baby. It's funny, as we're doing a Nintendo video, I just elbow a PlayStation 1. But I've had this baby for years. I actually want it to be okay. So anyway, the fact that you can actually play these songs offline, if you off game, and actually use them as, like, I would argue, and maybe some of you guys know a bit more than I do when it comes to the music. You're like, no, Matt, all these soundtracks are on iTunes or other, or Nintendo's released them via digital download here or there. But as far as I know, this might be considered an extremely extensive collection, potentially the highest quality of some of these MP3s, some of these songs, and you can access them just by buying the game, from the way it sounds. You just buy the game and you're running it on your Switch in handheld mode, and boom, you're good. You can listen to any of these. I would hope that you could put them in playlists so you don't have to freaking take your Switch out every time to push a button here or there, but still, that's a really cool thing, and I think it will, it will appeal to some people. To me, yeah, but it might appeal to you, and I think that's actually a really cool thing for them to add. Just another way to kind of give you a bang for your buck when it comes to this game. So moving on to modes, we actually have Squad Strike, which is great alliteration on their end. And apparently, from the looks of it, it's just a Marvel vs. Capcom mode. Now, that doesn't mean that it's a bad idea. I'm not putting it down by calling it that, but it does seem like that's what it is. It's a 3-on-3 or a 5-on-5 mode, elimination style. So you end up having, 1-on-1, 1-on-1, 1-on-1. You, I assume, versus another team captain. Oh, you can also call it Survivor Series mode if you want. But still, I don't find it... again, I keep on, comparing it to these other modes and these other, pro wrestling stuff. I like pro wrestling, so I'm not against it for that reason. But I think it's something that people could use, but they might not. I think people are going to use it if they, they've played Smash so much, they're like, you know what, I just want a different experience, right? Because there are some people out there that want the same experience over and over and over again, and that's cool, but I think that there's others that are like, okay, I've played so many different versions of Super Smash Bros. At this point. Can we do something different? But I do think that with tournament players, I feel like they might not want to do this. I mean, and the reason why I'm saying this is only because, look, I don't know much about the tournament scene, but I know that if you have a situation where you're very good, and your tournament playing friend is very good, and you're going up head to head, you would probably, it would be about, like 20-30 minutes it'll take you to get past the first two. So having a 3-on-3, 5-on-5, you might be there for a very long time. So I don't know if they'd want to do that necessarily, but still, it's definitely good in general. So the tourney mode I mentioned earlier, just, a tournament style mode, nothing really crazy there. They mentioned Smashdown, however, was very interesting. So basically, once a character is chosen, they can't be chosen again, and they consistently have more and more rounds. I assume you can choose more. Like, I don't think it's going to be only a set of like 4 or 5 rounds. I assume you can do like, 2 rounds, 3 rounds, something like that. But the reason why this is very interesting to me is because of the fact that it's not necessarily like a permadeath situation, because of course you can use them later on in the game. But the idea is that, and they even mentioned it in this direct as well, you can go, I'm not that good at this character, but I know that my friend is. So I'm going to choose a character that my friend is good at, and if I win, so be it. If I lose, they still can't use it next round, which is diabolical. It's genius, but it's diabolical. So there's some stuff like that as well that I do think can actually change the game up. And again, it's not a tournament thing, but it's still a family, like a fun thing. Oh, that's funny. I say it's family and fun, as I just mentioned diabolical, evil, and screwing over your friends. But you know what? You do you. I don't know how your friend group works. I know how mine works. And I would do that once. Not all the time, but I would do it once. And I think they would do it to me too. I feel like we would all just choose each other's mains and then just look at each other like, damn you. Okay, but anyway, the training seems a bit more intense. It feels like a light debug menu, and I know people can give me shit for that. I'm not saying it is a debug menu. I'm just saying it seems like a light debug, which is kind of funny because I feel like they really do want to help you out if you are a tournament player. Because again, this is where I feel like they take a few things, like they do things for the person that just wants to play at home, just wants to have fun with their friends, but it doesn't seem like they want to just take the tournament players and throw them away and cast them aside and go, who cares about tournaments? Right? They might want to make this, I think Sakurai has mentioned, yes, he wants to make this a bit more for, casual fans or people who aren't just tournament players, but that doesn't necessarily mean that this game can't be played at tournaments or that you can't train while playing this game at home. So I do think that training mode is actually, the way they're doing training mode, very interesting, definitely for those that are really into Smash, more than I may ever even be, and I'm someone who actually grew up with the original N64 version, so I'm not sitting here like saying I don't like Smash. It's just that y'all are intense about Smash, and I love you for it. So, moving on, we have Classic Mode that is back. Yes, Classic Mode is back. That's going to be awesome. Still wish there would be a type of story mode thingy, but you know what? Classic Mode's here. I will accept it. Because I will admit, it does seem silly to think, oh, would there really be no Classic Mode? But when companies try to change and innovate things, granted, Ultimate does seem like it's a thing where, oh, everything's going to be back. Everything's coming. That's been in older games. But still, sometimes when a company tries to, innovate a game, they do remove different features that fans might have even loved in the last game. So that was a little worrying, but you know what? Classic Mode's back, and that's good. Briefly, I want to touch on items. Just 2 items in particular, but items that I found freaking hilarious. The banana gun, and the interesting thing about the banana gun is it's a gun, right? But then it can also turn into a peel. So that's something that you can actually use to your advantage. You can shoot one opponent, and then as, let's say it's a 4-player battle, you shoot one opponent in front of you. Even if they block it, it becomes a peel behind you, and then you see one of your friends or opponents or whoever else beating up someone, and then they punch them right into the peel. That can actually completely, I'm sure you guys can imagine right now, completely change the game, especially if that gun actually did end up killing the person in front of you. So you take out an opponent in front of you, that person behind you takes out their opponent, now it's a one-on-one battle. So that is very interesting, and I can't wait to see how that will change up the gameplay. And also Death's Scythe, which also killed Luigi. Jesus! He gets his own game, and he dies. Or his own, remake of a game on 3DS, and then he dies. Conspiracy? But still, Jesus, that was terrifying. And it was fun, but I'm just kind of wondering what Nintendo's fascination is with killing off their main... Are they just... what are they doing? They killed off Mario and Luigi. It's like, dude, chill. Although to be fair, Mega Man also took a hit from Ridley as well. So that was in the New York Direct, or the general Direct that happened during E3. So talking about Pokemon briefly, we have an Alolan Executor, Abra, and this is just a Pokemon that was shown in the trailer itself. Some of them I might mispronounce because I'm actually not that fluent with newer Pokemon. So Galeo, Mimikia, Pukumuka, Vulpix, Alolan Vulpix, Marshadow, Ditto, which Sorry, it's just I saw when we see that character from Splatoon, one of the Inklings, being super hyped, like that's me, at a Ditto. It's just the funniest thing to me. So anyway, so those are the Pokemon that we had shown in the trailer. We showed off that we showed off some new assist trophies, just assist trophies in general, and then also some interesting new ones. So let's get to that get to that right now. We have Zero, Knuckles, Crystal. We have Claptrap. We have Kappa, we have Chef Kawasaki, we have Gray Fox, we have Nikki, Shovel Knight, Moon. I love that we can play a game franchise that an assist trophy is the Moon. I know people have said that before. That's not a new take. That's not a hot take. It's just something we always need to reflect on as a gaming community. Also, we have, let's see here, we have Bomberman, and here's the new character from Monster Hunter, of all places. Monster Hunter! Do I play Monster Hunter? No, I don't! I know nothing about Monster Hunter. But I see all these different YouTubers and people commenting and showing their love for Monster Hunter. So that just kind of permeates. It becomes a part of me, and I'm like, yeah, Monster Hunter! Never played it! But it's still really cool that you guys get to have an assist trophy with this character who actually becomes both a hero and a villain, depending on how he feels today. Sadly, there are no cat creatures that you can kind of bring in to help you out, but still, really freaking cool. And also, I should get his name, but it's very hard to read my notes, even with these glasses. I need a stronger prescription. Rathalos is the name. Okay, finally freaking got it. So, as we're nearing the end of this Matt Rants, which I thought was going to be a lot shorter, but dear goodness, basically I want to say, so, yeah, again, not what I expected. I don't know if I expected Waluigi. Something inside me did, but something inside me didn't. I will admit, though, as much as I really would like Waluigi in this game, it's getting a bit much, guys. I mean, I know it's a meme to some of you guys, and you're laughing about it, but I feel like it's getting a bit much. So maybe less Waluigi, a little bit less. Although, even by saying that, I'm just going to get Wah in the freaking comment section, damn it. Anyway, I know I'm going to get it. I'm just going to get Wah, 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 and then one, ... Luigi. But still, I'm not saying I don't want him. It's just that he's already an assist trophy. I don't think they're going to double dip on that, although they could add him into DLC. One thing we really got to mention. More than 100 stages and more than, more than 300 songs, or actually a lot of songs in the game. That is really cool, and I know some people say, oh, but you know, quality over quantity, which I'm not saying that I disagree with, but I have to say, though, that I don't really see how some of these stages aren't going to be quality. I mean, of course, yes, there could be, you know, glitches and things like that, but still, they have there's something interesting about Nintendo, they didn't lose any of the code. So yes, of course, they had to remaster stuff, they had to, you know, build stuff from the ground up, but still, it's not like they didn't have the blueprints right there ready to kind of pull out when they needed to. So, it's not like Sakurai was working blind with everything that was, you know, pre-Wii U. So I do believe that, in this case, it could be both quality and quantity, interestingly enough. But anyway, so this is the end of this Matt Rants. Again, if you like this setup with my face being all facey, then please comment below, tell me you want this to happen more often. But again, when it comes to encoding a video like this for 30 minutes, it's definitely a lot different than encoding an actual, encoding gameplay footage and stuff like that. Especially with the edits and everything like that. And also trying to find time to actually get my face on camera. So, love you all. Take care. Tune in next time for another Matt Rants. We're not doing any other Matt Rants this week, despite the fact that there are some very interesting pieces of news that I do want to cover. But this meets our 2 Matt quotas. I put 2, that's 4. 2 Matt quotas for this week. And we have a bunch of other fun content scheduled, though, so definitely check that out as well. Thank you all so much for listening, as always. Please remember to like and subscribe if you liked the video. If you didn't like the video, you can still like and subscribe regardless. You can. Either way, thank you all so much. All the Patreon, t-shirt stuff, that'll be in the description box below. Affiliate links, things like that. If you want to help out the channel, you totally can. Thank you all so much. Again, love you. I keep on saying it, but it's just amazing that you guys actually tune in and actually see my face, see my words, hear my words, whichever. Alright guys, so take care. Tune in next time for another Matt Rants. See ya.